that men and women meet to acknowledge the highest truth is holy ground. This is truly holy ground, where we pause today to join in collective gratitude. I'm Kara Seekings, and on behalf of the LilyDale Assembly and the last Saturday of our 2020 141st season, I welcome you to the service today. Who's here for the first time?
Oh my goodness.
I love it. Welcome, newbies. And as I say that seriously, I would warn you, LilyDale is a lot like a bag of Lay's potato strips. You rarely ever dip in just once. And we invite you back again and again and again, of course. And to the rest of you, welcome home, oh dear friends. Because once you become part of us, you remain part of us. And we're delighted to have you. Please stay seated, but bow your heads and join me in the prayer for the invocation. Mother, Father, God, infinite creator of all that is, was, and ever will be, we gather today on the closing day of our assembly and pray the same prayer we prayed on the opening day of summer. We gather today with like-minded people and welcome the spirit of nature and all its beauty and the serenity that surround us. We welcome the spirit of the trees with their cool shade and shelter. We welcome the spirit of the air as the leaves sing and make heart music. We welcome the spirit of water that quenches and refreshes us. We welcome those fires that warm our homes and our hearts. We welcome the spirit of all living things that offer fascinating glimpses of strange and wondrous phenomena. We welcome our ancestors in spirit, that they may rejoice with us. We give thanks for our abundance, our blessings, our good health, our opportunities, and the joys of our lives. Amen. Amen. Now, I have spent the entire summer on this platform. I don't think I've missed many days. I'm going to tell you maybe 10 or 12 all summer. It has been a summer of service for me, for which I have been incredibly grateful to experience. At the same time, guys, I have spent all summer throwing myself around about greenery for the platform. Now, we live in a very beautiful place, but I like to bring a little of it into us. And to promote that, I have spent all summer saying up here, if you would like to honor or memorialize someone, it's a really simple thing to do here. Now, of course, we're at the end of the season, but you can sign up for next year. All you have to do is contact the office, either via telephone, via website, or via email, and make arrangements for flowers. The other thing we do not do, we do not ever refuse a donation of local flowers from your own garden. So I then acknowledge every day from this platform the people who have been generous with their flowers and their love. In loving memory of Andrew Babinski by his sister Jane, in loving memory of Don Riley by Kathy Riley. Forever in our hearts and thoughts. This has meant so much to all of us in LilyDale because this comes from our friends at the Church of Divine Inspiration in Rochester. Aloma Kaysen has graced this platform many times over the years, and I've been fortunate enough to grace the platform at Divine Inspiration as well. Although there are people there who may question how graced the platform was. But we certainly appreciate their love. A month and a half ago, we lost a member of the assembly. Stephanie Turchek was a registered medium here in LilyDale, and our friend. Stephanie passed to spirit, and flowers were given in loving memory by both her family and her church family, the Church of the Living Spirit. And I saved the best two for last, because they are the women who are seated on the platform. We have received loving flowers from Sandy Flakowski, who will be your medium today, and who gives them in loving memory of her mom, Sally. We've also received flowers several times from Galsick Farm. Judy Galsick is our speaker today. Now, those of you who are anywhere near the area realize that Wilcox, Pennsylvania, is not the next farm over, okay? It's like 2.5 hours from here. And Judy and her friend, I'm looking for, and her friend Jill, there she is, she's hiding my car in the back. And her friend Jill have faithfully, have you guys missed a week?
No.
Have faithfully every week this summer driven that 2.5 hours one way to come here and serve Spirit. In addition to which, Judy also brings with her flowers, and this is especially poignant for me, because one batch was in my honor and the honor of every volunteer who gives their time and their effort to this auditorium series. And today she brought beautiful flowers in honor of a friend of mine, a teacher and mentor of hers. Dr. Judith Rochester has been a mentor for more of us than I can name.
Right.
Okay, myself included.
Right.
One of the very first classes I ever took in LilyDale was a class from Judith Rochester. So, neighbor, friend, and in honor of Judith Rochester, Judith Galsick brought flowers. So now that I did my whole spiel about that, please don't hesitate next summer if you have the opportunity to provide flowers for the platform here. It's a long-standing tradition, guys. The year Marion Skidmore died, there were flowers placed here on the platform every single day that summer on an empty chair to signify respect and love for Marion Skidmore. Marion founded our library and also founded the Chautauqua Women's Equality Party. And I'm blessed to portray Marion Skidmore as a reenactor. That's why I know a little bit about that. But anyway, enough chat. Okay, now we are going to, as we are able, stand, raise the vibration for the speaker. We're singing God Bless America today, and the words are up here because I felt like it. But also because it struck me, we need blessed. So as you're able or willing to stand, please do so. her up. So. Judy has always believed in the continuity of life. With the training and practice of Reiki and spiritual healing, Judy began her mediumship development journey. The connection to spirit developed into the study and service of evidential mediumship and healing. She returns to her 6th year of study for Awakening the Medium in You with Dr. Judith Rochester here in LilyDale. Judy is a teacher to many developing students. She has served as a healer in the Healing Temple in the church, coordinated workshops, and serves as a medium for several LilyDale events and outdoor services. I think when she wrote this, she did not expect to serve the auditorium all summer, but she deserved it. She has also had the opportunity to learn with mediums Tony Stockwell and Andy Bing from the UK, among others. She's certified through the Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development. Wanting always to be a student to continue development for service, she also aspires to serve spirit as a trance medium and a spiritual artist. Judy holds a Bachelor of Science in Education, has worked in education, human services, and the social services field for over 30 years. And you already know she lives not on the next farm over. Judy lives in Wilcox, Pennsylvania. Please join me in welcoming Judy Dawson.
Good afternoon. So I'm going to throw that bio away, and here's what I would have to say. I love spirit, and I love serving spirit. And that'll be my bio from here on out. Oh my goodness, it's such a blessing to stand here in this auditorium. A while ago, I met a spirit named Amelia Colby. If you walk into the Church of the Living Spirit or the Assembly Hall, there's a big portrait of her on the wall. And back in, I think it was February of 2019, before we were struck with the virus, I was in my development circle with Dr. Rochester, and Amelia Colby came and stood next to me. And she took a torch and she lit it. And she handed it to me and she asked me, light all the torches around LilyDale, because we need to be a light. And I had no idea why. And so I just sat with spirit on it, and look, this is the reason why. And it's so amazing to think that I stand in an auditorium that was built in 1883. Amelia Colby named this spot the Association of the Casadega Lake Free Association. I'm sorry, one association. But to think that I get to walk the same path that our pioneers and our pilgrims of spiritualism walked, it's amazing. And I think Carol would agree, and Sandy would agree. And as we stand here today, Amelia Colby joins us here in spirit. So today I want to talk about something, and it's called hope. And I don't mean that beautiful Hope Harvey sitting over there. Can we thank her for all the volunteering? And Herb Skinner in the back, I thank you so much too. Yes. But I want to talk about hope. Hope is a feeling of expectation and a desire for good, accompanied by the assumption that what you desire is attainable and has been something that I have just sat with and sat with and sat with. I have a friend who is I call her the master of manifestation. And she taught me that our thoughts and our words are so powerful, and what we think and the words that we speak bring to us exactly what we want. So I said, isn't hope kind of like a stick in the spokes of manifesting what we want? I wasn't sure what I thought about hope. And when I would say something to someone like, oh, I know you can do it, and they would respond, well, I hope, I felt, am I being caught in a hope trap? I wasn't sure what I felt about hope. And you know, one thing is definitely true. What we seek, we shall find. And that is why you will come back to LilyDale over and over and over again. But I went on a journey to find out about hope. And I found an article written by Leon Seltzer, Dr. Leon Seltzer. And he says there's good hope and there's bad hope. And I'm like, oh, okay, someone understands my thoughts here. So he tells us the risks of hope. Excuse me. Hope can set us up for disappointment and defeat, because to hope is to hope for something that hasn't transpired yet. Hoping may be pleasurable, he says, but hope defeated can be very painful. And we've all felt that before, that disappointment before. Hope can also hamper us from adequately preparing for negative outcomes. We need to be more realistic. We can't be full-heartedly with this word hope. It just sets us up for disappointment. Hope can be like a prayer, he says, wishing for something rather than forcibly working for it. I like that because I'm a worker, okay? That made sense to me. We wouldn't want anybody else to hope for us, right? But hope can stop us sometimes from doing what is necessary and advisable, like common sense tells us. Hope can encourage you to forfeit personal power and control. Wow. So we begin to believe, well, I can't do anything about the situation, so quite actually, I'll just hope for a good outcome. And I didn't like that one either, because it basically said, just go ahead and surrender. Whatever happens, happens. Hope can be a tool of self-deception. False hope is a hope that no meaningful bias in reality. Again, we need to ponder and say, is it sensible to hope for this? Hope can set us up for hopelessness, especially when we've been defeated time and time again, and we repeat over and over again, I'll just hope, I'll hope. It can bring us to downright despair. So, to conclude, Seltzer suggested, it's not bad to hope, but we need to hope wisely. So, if you wish, go ahead and hope, but do it judiciously with good judgment and good sense. Wow, I had all the evidence to support that hope might not be such a good thing, because I wanted to be a manifester of change. So therefore, was I going to hope for it, or was I going to put myself into action? I had all the hope all of the proof that I needed, and yet it didn't sit well with my soul. It felt so yucky inside to think of hope this way, especially being a spiritualist who knows that our consciousness is always life-supporting. These risks of hope come from a place of fear and control, and that's what I realized. Then, just as Spirit has always worked with me, when I'm contemplating and I'm seeking, the next thing I know, I open my, I think it was a Facebook page, and what is going to take place in the next few days but Oprah and Deepak, 21 Days of Hope. I knew it was done just for me. Are you okay, Carol?
I'm tickling me.
So hope, he begins telling us, is within each and every one of us. It's an internal knowing that comes from trust in the divine consciousness, the God within ourselves. Hope and fear cannot occupy the same space. Hope is that life-sustaining force. It's a power and a source of strength for us. Fear is wanting control over every aspect of our life, causing anxieties and insecurities. Rather, embrace uncertainty, because hope has power that comes from self-awareness and self-discovery of that God that exists within each and every one of us. When hope is felt as your inner being, your inner truth, it transforms your life. And by sharing that, you are able to transform others' lives. Hope is a quality that exists in our consciousness just like love and joy. Hope is always, always supporting us. The way to heal any situation is to activate hope. Hope is always a part of present awareness. Otherwise, we call it wishing. You will find there is a spectrum of hope, from a casual, "oh, I hope so," to a conviction born of trust deep within yourself, your eternal self, your divine consciousness when we allow it to speak. This hope eradicates fear of uncertainty, and its strongest hope carries a full power of intention. We are manifesting when we are hoping. Hope lives in uncertain times, and that's why it's so important for us to have hope. Ultimately, it is not the outside circumstances that determine whether we respond with fear or hope, but rather the hope found within our eternal consciousness from whence our inner strength comes. Trusting that all of our actions are guided by infinite wisdom of our higher self. And guess where that comes from? From love. When you have true hope, you meet every situation openly, without fear or feeling the need to retreat or defend. Rather, situations present themselves as a new opportunity to bring out the best in ourselves. And we sure as heck can fail at that, but we get to do it again. It is always a win-win situation with hope. Either you win because the situation turns out well, or you win because you have found something to heal and improve. This kind of hope brings you to, in hope, I am fearless. So come on in and don't leave until you have taught me what I need to know needs to be our response when we hit those obstacles in life. Therefore, we can never give up hope. We know the power of hope has an endless supply. Always us allowing us to love ourselves and others. People who consider themselves practical often believe hope is impractical and non-realistic. In fact, the opposite of true is true. Hope is completely realistic because it's based on consciousness of infinite possibilities that we can't even contemplate when we are hoping. You can change what you are aware of, and when you think and act habitually, you remain unconscious. We develop trust by holding hope for a positive outcome without trying to control it. That is powerful in itself. When you draw upon your consciousness as your reality, then hope is open-ended and never-ending. The path to fulfillment is unpredictable, but guess what? That makes it so natural. Trust and belief are two qualities that support our journey of hope. When trust and belief are weak, hope is weak. When we ignore our inner guidance of self-awareness, hope can devolve. There is a secret to finding hope everywhere, and it is held in the word gratitude and the action gratitude. Gratitude is what expands your awareness as well as your happiness and hopefulness. Appreciating what shows up in your life changes your vibration. Gratitude expands your awareness. It creates unbounded energy to defeat and explore every moment, every encounter with freedom and creativity. The door of the universe is open through gratitude. With our heart open, we can find hope in every situation. And boy, do we need it today. Hope is always on your side. Allowing your spiritual self to rule your life gets you into the flow that activates hope and defeats the struggles that we bring. Allowing you to be one with life, trusting that life will take care of itself. Can you imagine if we could walk every day just believing that life was going to work out perfectly the way it is supposed to? This is the activation of hope and consciousness beginning to exert its organizing, harmonizing, and creative power in our lives. Hope becomes so real that you can trust that your awareness can lead you to a resolution, even when you can't imagine what that resolution would be. As real hope grows within, a sense of trust and self-assurance grows within. I think a lot of people refer to that as walking in the light. We don't have certainty in this life. If we let go of the need for certainty and act in compassion, we begin to lose our fear. When fear is removed, compassion flows freely. And that flow will unleash the power of hope. Again, it's the opening of our heart that brings hope. And hope tells us anything can be transformed. Hope is our ally because it affirms renewal is always possible. Just think about that. In the worst situation that you're stuck in, renewal is always possible. Hope leads us out of a mindset of struggle into the awakening of the soul. When we realize we are one with God, one with the universe, and one with each other. Awareness of these connections is the light of hope. Your light of awareness is recognized and activated to expand, and every action, thought, and feeling springs from that light, the light of hope. So you've heard us talk about Dr. Judith Rochester, and one thing that I've learned, I hope I've learned, over my years of following and learning from her, when I bring to her a deep, deep-seated question, the first thing she says to me is, Judy, have you gone to spirit? Oh boy, it takes practice. Okay, on April 1st of 2016, in our development circle, Judith Rochester says, move away from states of awareness of spirit to spirit in all things. And that is our journey, to go to spirit first. So, after my little journey with hope, I went to spirit. I should have gone there first. But I needed all the other stuff. But I went to spirit, and I said, Spirit, show me what hope looks like. Show me, so I can see what hope looks like. There I saw myself standing in a circle, recognizing there with me my spirit guides, my teachers, ascended masters that I have yet to know, my spirit loved ones, and the angels that I work with. We were all holding a candle in that circle. And when I asked of everyone, what is hope? I watched as we all turned around and began to walk away from the circle. We are to take hope out into the world. That's what hope is. As we continue to walk away, those who saw our lights came and joined us. And they lit their lights from our lights. And our circle got bigger. We are the hope that this world needs. The circle continued to grow until we encircled the entire world with lights of hope. Dr. Martin Luther King says everybody has the power of greatness, not for fame, but for greatness. But he added, greatness is determined by service. And if we can't give any other kind of service, hope is our service. Reach out without expectations, but with the hope of connection, that the spark of hope will light up the entire world. When we become a living example of the power of hope, we become a catalyst for the transformative forces in each other. The key to igniting the power of hope is through the deep feeling of trust and belief that good will always prevail. I've been coming to LilyDale for a number of years, and the name for LilyDale changed over the years. It was the City of Light, then it was the LilyDale Assembly, but I choose to call it a name of my own, and that is LilyDale, the Harbor of Hope. It is lighting the world, as Amelia Colby showed me that day, lighting the torches around LilyDale. People come. This is where you will find hope. And it's funny because you'll begin to call it home. So Spirit completely changed my perspective on hope. The journey of hope is what leads us to our divine consciousness, to the oneness with God, the universe, and each other. Hope comes from that faith that we are divinely guided in all things. One of my favorite songs ever is I Hope You Dance by LilyDale. Never lose your sense of wonder, and may I always feel small when I stand by the ocean. Give faith a fighting chance, and never fear the mountains in the distance. Are just a few of those lines from that song. So, instead of hoping wisely and judiciously, how about if we hope without boundaries, without borders, and with our whole heart? Come dwell with me in the light of hope, and let's share that hope with the whole world. I thank you for allowing me to serve Spirit today. Thank you.
Now I know she can do it all. That was the first time I've heard her speak. I heard her serve as clairvoyant, so boy, is she in trouble in the future.
I love it.
And just for all of you, and Judy may already know this, Amelia Colby's husband, George Colby, is the man who the church in Cassadaga, Florida, which is the other us, is named for. Colby Memorial is named for George Colby. Okay. I truly